Yeah, the interesting thing is we see another game in action over here. He did absolutely awesome, by the way. You see that, what was it, 61 perfects on Shusha, no bar.
One is pocket pick.
10 years old? That's
10 years
insane.
old.
That is insane. That was one of the
For those
top
of you who
stories
are
of the
joining us very late in the tournament, so smorey is a very young talent in this game. At 10 years old, this is his first SMX tournament, and he has already demonstrated an incredible ability in this game, and he also plays without the bar, which is certain to thrill every old school player you know who certainly could clear max 300 back in the day without the bar, because using the cheat rail is for cheaters.
Guys, so just look. He's so upright. Yes, he's slouching a little bit, but almost perfectly upright and really good form. You can kind of see not too much lift on his back heels on top of that, so conserving that energy.
He's already figured out the no-bar player trick of moving your body and your arms around to balance your weight. Of course, I think he definitely has an advantage here, being young and having less weight to throw around compared to some of us. Certainly has the ability to balance better.
Yeah, so I started playing this game when I was 13. Couldn't use the bar. You didn't have speed mod back in DDR in 2004 when I started.
You cannot sleep on his ability either, because we are at the halfway point for score, and he has a gold combo.
That is impressive. Keep in mind, this is a pattern that's pretty hard to hit with the bar because you have that center panel right over there, and those patterns into the center panel, you have to lift your foot up ever so slightly. That's the difference between the early and the string of white perfects that you see. This is another crazy rhythm right over here that'll catch you off guard if you're not ready for it. Happened earlier in top 8, I believe. Saw this looked like some earlies in that part, and that was a difference maker. Look at this. I had full combo in it.
That's a full combo.
Full combo, no bar. I'd like to remind you, he's 10 years old.
I think probably a better delirium than I have. Let's go, smorey.
That is really hard to do, no bar. And you know, keep in mind, you can't see it on the camera too much, but you got a big crowd here behind you. That's gotta be a big thing, especially for your first SMX tournament, your first dance game tournament, 10 years old. Doesn't seem fazed by the crowd.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is, you know, smorey, although he got eliminated in Pool 3, I do think he has a very promising future in tournaments. And one thing that came up to discuss it again after having the honor of commentating his match earlier, the most interesting thing about it is he kind of, based on his age and his skill set, inverts the calculus for opponents who want to play against no-bar players. Players who play without the bar will have a harder time with patterns that whip you around or otherwise require very fast transitions, but he is very capable of doing that. So,
yes, and especially when you're watching these patterns, when you're facing completely straight forward, like right there, with those up and down 16 bursts, it might even be an advantage for smorey here.
Really, smorey's got great stamina, and he can handle the really hard turn-heavy patterns. So it's kind of an invert on the calculus for a lot of other no-bar players who typically have really good score for tournaments, but they can easily get physically tired out. Smorey has got that youthful energy with him.
And only picked up one early, even in that really tough burst with the centers into that, kind of like that one just before. He's still got a full combo intact. Now this is another one you got to be careful of. With the center into the up or down arrow, you don't lift your foot up high enough, you're going to get an early or late, probably an early in that scenario, but we're closing on the very end here. He's got the full combo. He's got it. Wow. What a full combo here.
I had no doubt in my mind. So yeah, I certainly think he is one of the youngest talents we have in this game. We have Taekwondo boy back in New Jersey, around 12 years old, has shown incredible talent. He is also Yeah, Taekwondo Boy, also a very young talent, very talented at the game. He does use the bar, which is very funny because his arms go very far back, almost above his head. It's a sight to see. And I'm also thinking of a leaderboard player, Wiz, very high up on the global leaderboard, has a younger daughter, I believe around 8 years old, who has incredible score performance on Lower Wild. So it's very exciting that this game attracts players of all ages.
You are witnessing the next generation of StepManiaX greatness.
Oh, yeah?
What you're watching on the stream here at home. I'd like to remind everybody this is 25 as well. Watch the foot switches that are going to come up about 4 beats right after this. Flawless.
All right, smorey. Let's keep an eye out.
I can't even do those with the bar.
He's going to beat my critical hit that I had against MCAT, isn't he?
As you can see, navigates the 30 seconds, crossovers, another pattern, foot switches into the jumps, bracketing. Critical hit has it all. Not a tattoo call here for smorey.
Keep an eye out. Am I about to lose to this kid in bracket?
Let's see, what's he on pace for? Is he gonna hit 90K? Might be very close to it with the freeze at the end. Gotta hold that.
All right, 88.
Right, 88.
Hey, listen, 88 is not that's not a score to sneeze at on critical hit. He combos better than me. I had like 21 misses on my run against MCAT. But yeah.
Oh, he's gonna pull this off.
We're noiding out.
So we got a paranoid selection here.
I cannot believe this has not come up in tournament.
It hasn't come up at all?
No, not to my
It's
knowledge.
the first time we're seeing it.
Because the first tournament that the Naoki patch was legal, this came up 3 times in top 8 of B-Hop
Right
Ball.
before Red October as well, that patch came out, which Naoki performed at, ironically. Now, for those of you at home who aren't aware of this, you see those yellow bars on your on the StepManiaX screen.
Yeah, every
that
bar
means
is a BPM change.
so you got a BPM change every 4 measures. Now we're at 170, I believe, at this spot.
180.
It's 180 on this spot, so it's 180 here. And then it's going to go up to 190. A little bit after this, then 200.
I'll take the second to talk about this as a chart. This is a brutal chart. It's got really hard syncopation. It's got all kinds of manner of crossover patterns. And it's very difficult to time, especially because past this section, there's now an acceleration to 190.
Yep, and that's where we're at right now. You got to move your feet around that minefield in the middle.
And keep in mind, that sort of center mine with a double step pattern, that kind of obfuscates where the BPM changes. So if you're not ready and you're not knowledgeable, that could catch you off guard. And then there is going to be this section. This percussive synth is going to take over, slow down to about 140, and now 200 for the final BPM.
And don't watch the patterns you have here. So keep in mind the amount of energy you have to conserve just so you can navigate this part right over here.
Oh, what follows that drill
Let's
is
see.
also so hard.
Got a full bar of energy right over here. And then a crossover at the end. He's going to do it. Yes, he does. What an impressive clear here by smorey. 88782.
Absolutely.
Entertainment as we await our grand finals here coming up. Between #1 seeded Hints and #4 seeded
I'd like to
Water
see
Salad.
Dance Dance Revolution roll out their child prodigy.
And now Shiawase right up here. A little bit of a low-key song compared to what we just saw over the last 5 to 10 minutes.
A total change in intensity.
Lots of swing 64th rhythms in this song, but something you have to be very careful timing-wise, especially those green teal notes are not the same thing as the yellow ones you're seeing. Those are 64th notes. But you got to transition between those and the 16 gallops. Much harder than it looks. And no, that is not a 16th, that's a 64th note, just as a reminder.
Oh yeah. Gotta watch out for those funny green notes.
And if you like green notes, here comes some more right over here in the middle. got a gold combo.
I also want to take a second to highlight, it was brought up earlier, you know, on critical hit, which is a very technique-heavy chart, you know, Smorey knew the execution on it. And so let's give some props to his father, Rugard, who is also here at this event. I certainly cannot think of anyone to have a better coach for such a young talent than someone who's also had so much experience with dance games.
Yes, and that is such a valuable thing to bring to the next generation of rhythm gamers. You got this at home, and you got a parent who coaches you. That's what dreams are made of. On pace, looks like about to close out another full combo of Shiawase.
Let's go, Smorey!
Doesn't seem like he's broken his sweat up at all.
He's got a level of energy that I could only aspire to have.